Okay, so that didn't go very well. Let's try that again. This time, let's not get knocked over and killed instantly. Alright, so again, just slowly walk. It is a bit lucky that I managed to get him on that position where he starts off not really knowing where you are. Whoops! Looks like I walked too close to him and he instantly heard us. Let's get out of here. Maybe this guy's around the corner. So, out. Good. And luckily, these Theriznosauruses... Well, they're a lot slower than Raptors, so on a straight, you can outrun them. So let's get out of here. And go to the rest station. It kind of implies it's a save room, but it's not. It's just a lobby area. And I picked up an anesthetic aid if I, didn't have enough of those things already, and I don't have any anesthetic darts to use them on. But hey, at least we got a map. Those are always good. There's nothing really marked on our map at the moment, so we're just still exploring. Here's a plug. Those are good. And luckily they're counted as key items rather than supply items. And here's a dead body, which I kind of find it weird, because there's a lot of dead people around, but they're mostly intact. Now you think that dinosaurs would be like eating people, so there wouldn't really be much left of them. And it's not like in Resident Evil, because, those people are eaten by zombies, and zombies are picky eaters, they don't eat everything, they just probably eat brains and stuff, and but dinosaurs not so much, as far as I know. Again, I'm no dinoologist, but I assume that they'd, eat more of the person, so there's not much there. And it's not even like a horror game thing, like it's not even really that scary, because in Resident Evil, there's always the prospect that any dead body could potentially turn into a zombie, and none of those dead bodies are going to turn into dinosaurs, are they? They're just going to stay dead, and maybe a dinosaur will be eating one of them, but that's it. And again, this game isn't really that scary. It's not really that, that much of a horror game. Not like the other Resident Evils or Silent Hills. I guess it's more like Resident Evil 4, where it's just more about trying to survive with limited resources and like restricted movement, things like that. But in this room, there's a regular old Raptor, so... Nah, fuck it. Let's go! Hold on, suckers! You're too slow! Let's see what's in this security pass room. So you're approaching endgame when all the doors are like super high-tech and stuff. Possessing firearms, eh? Looking pretty cool in this silhouette. It's like an iPod commercial. Those old ones. And, well, this alarm's gonna go off and keep going off. But first, let's read a message. Since we are going to move the experimental generator outside today, we expect to see external staff within the test area. As a final reminder, if the overload occurs in this laboratory, it will mean the obliteration of the entire facility. If you don't want to be evaporated, guard the area with extreme caution. So everyone's working really hard to make sure they don't die, because the researchers, if they screw up at all, if anything goes wrong, you're all dead. Everything's fucked. And yeah, that's a nice comforting message, isn't it? So that's nice to know. This third energy experiment could destroy everything. So, yeah. Let's just turn off this alarm. Surprisingly easy to turn off the alarm, actually. I mean, there's no like security checks. You can just go here and press a button and done. And that actually turns off the alarm permanently as well. The scanner won't keep beeping every time you go through it with a weapon. So I don't know why that's there, but I guess it's something. Here's DDK Disc S. This should be good. Terminal messages, manager's key chips. If you remember, we had a machine like that in the library room in the research area. So yeah, we'll be doing some familiar puzzles. Her throat has been crushed. Again, no sign of like any part of her being eaten, so the dinosaurs are just killing people for the sake of it, I guess. Maybe they're just saving it for later, they're not hungry yet, and just leave her there. Yep, rewriting ID cards. Bet this sounds familiar. So, In order to gain access to certain areas, we gotta get rewrites ID cards based on details of a person who works here, basically. And you need to know like their personal ID number and get their fingerprint data. We don't need to find a new ID card. We can use the one that we used earlier to gain access to the B level. So we just overwrite that one. We have pretty much everything we can get here, so let's make our way out. And this is the save room, as you can tell by the music. Let's get on out of here. Hello Raptor, don't mind me, I'm just going to use this rope and climb this ventilation shaft while you are in front of me. I guess we're approaching kind of near the end of the game. I think we're about 2/3, 3/4 maybe? I don't know. Not much more to the game. This is basically the last area you can go to. And you can go back to the previous area, you know, the F1 and F2 levels, using the elevator if you wanted to, in case you missed anything. There is a certain point where there is a point of no return and you'll never be able to get there again, so, well, you'll know when that happens. Looks like I need a key card to get through this door, and there seems to be one right here. Huh? A door? A light? A wall? Those don't make noises. Something's wrong here. Well, I guess everything's safe. Don't need to keep my guard up. Uh-oh, looks like I was wrong. How did this happen? Looks like we got ourselves a Raptor. But this one looks a little different. So don't be fooled. This one's actually more powerful than the others. Let's take him out with slug bullets, which are more powerful than regular shotgun bullets. Look out, I'm armed! Uh-oh, that's not what I meant at all! Get off my arm! I gotta heal myself because I'm on pretty low health. Eat that! Stay down, Dino Brain! You know, the colours kind of make them look like the Jaggy from Monster Hunter Tri or something. Get off me! This guy takes a lot of shots. There's another guy. Where are you? Come on, come on. I'm ready for you. Whee! Man, that must have hurt. It just flipped me over. Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, these guys soak up a lot of bullets. In fact, all 10 of them. All I have left is, yeah. Eat this. So as you can see, these raptors take a lot more damage. In fact, you might be surprised to know that they're actually the most powerful enemies in the game. They're actually more powerful than Therizinosaurus. They do a lot more damage and they're considerably faster. I suppose that these could be considered to be the crimson heads of Dino Crisis, whereas the Therizinosaurus is the hunter. And of course the regular raptors are the zombies, I guess. The ID card that we tried to pick up was a level C security card, and that let us into this room. Not really a lot here. There's disc W, so now we can get into the port we saw earlier in the rest room. But otherwise, a lot of the stuff in this room we can't really use at the moment. This is for a puzzle later on. But it's something to do with the third energy experiment. In fact, it might be helpful just to remember a couple of things around here. Simulation on the monitor. No biggie. Can't really do anything at the moment. Some kind of simulation. I thought that was a panel on the side, but can't interact with it. And there's a way out, and there should be a note we can read. Aha, here it is. Lots of unorganized papers though. It looks like these scientists were a messy bunch. That or dinosaurs are trying to do the science. Okay, those who attend the activation on generator for the first time. To activate the generator, the following two devices must be set in advance: initializer and stabilizer. The function of the two devices are as follows. Initializer generates the necessary energy for reaction. Stabilizer keeps chain reaction under control. Well, that seems simple enough, but we need to find the two parts, and that's exactly what we need and what we don't have. So, yeah. Again, not important to know this right now, but it's basically how to solve a puzzle. Since there's nothing else to do here, let's get out of here. And there's one area we haven't really explored yet. It's the, well, it's where the second Raptor appeared. So let's head over there, while bleeding out everywhere. Man, I hope, like, raptors aren't like sharks and can, like, smell blood or whatever. Well, even if they did show up, it shouldn't be a problem. Well, since we don't have enough plugs, I guess we might as well open this next one and get some healing items, since I guess now the game's going to get a bit harder. We might be needing a few more of these. Well, actually we might be needing some more ammo as well, but you know what? I'll stick with recovery for now. So, going back on those new raptors we saw, the ones that are even more powerful than Therizinosaurus and have a slightly different colour scheme, they actually have a name. According to the Dino Crisis wiki, which is where I'm getting all my information now, they're called Ultraraptors! The name Ultraraptors tells us two things. Number one, that apparently there's a genius working in Capcom at the time who came up with that brilliant name. And second of all, they really didn't know any other dinosaurs aside from Velociraptor. I mean, they made up the Therizinosaurus and they were like, gosh, what other dinosaurs could we use? And then they just decided on just improving the regular Velociraptor and turning it into an Ultraraptor. And hey, at least it saves them from having to animate a new dinosaur. They have to do is slap a new texture on the regular Velociraptor, and there you go!
Gale!
Yeah. Well, at least Kirk's running out of places to hide.
Wait, that's it? You're just gonna let him go? You're not gonna ask him where he's been, or how he got here? Or where he was when we called for the chopper, or what this unfinished business he's talking about is? You know, Gale's acting pretty suspicious, but maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. It's probably perfectly normal for Gale to go wandering off and doing unfinished business. It's probably how he refers to all his wacky errands. He probably like, I have got some unfinished business. Going out shopping again, eh, Gale? Whatever. See you later. So this is a scientist room. There's not much. There's some items here, not multiplier. Unfortunately, we already used our we already upgraded our regular med pack, so we can't use the multiplier on an upgraded med pack, as you can see, which is kind of annoying. No matter. Multiplier isn't really compatible with anything else. It's only with regular med packs. Notice saying that you have to make the bed after you use it, because this is where all the scientists sleep together. You can tell by that rather awful looking lab coat texture on the wall. Let's read this journal. I'll just paraphrase this for you. Basically, this scientist is kind of bummed out because he made a mistake, a very slight mistake in his calculation, and Dr. Kirk, referred to as Kid, is basically throwing a huge hissy fit over it. And basically the other guy responds to this saying, man, we all hate Kirk. You know what we should do? We should poison him by mixing certain drugs together. You mix the strongest anesthetic with something else, you can create a poison. So yeah, he's just plotting out murder openly in this book. And this other scientist says, God damn it, you guys are pathetic. Why are you trying to murder this man just because he's complaining? And he's going to hold them all responsible if something goes wrong. Keeping in mind that if something does go wrong, it's clearly stated it will cause a horrible explosion, so good luck trying to hold anyone responsible when you're dead. Also, the thing the other scientist mentioned about making a poison by mixing an anesthetic with something, the strongest anesthetic, is actually a clue on how to make poison darts. You have to basically combine something with the super upgraded anesthetic dart, and that something happens to be a resuscitation, so it's a pretty big trade-off. You have to get rid of resuscitations if you want to make poison darts. I haven't actually used a poison dart yet, but it's basically like a tranquilizer dart, except permanent. As in, it kills them. So yeah, you just shoot them once, they're dead. Saves a huge fight, and it's actually kind of useful, I guess, if I don't know, if there's like a Thrysnosaurus or something. Maybe I should save them for Ultra Raptors, but you know, no biggie. So now we have the ID card we picked up. Hello, don't mind me. I'm just gonna run past you. We're just gonna make our way back to the previous area and use the card there.
Regina, I fixed it. You can open the shutters now.
Oh, thanks, Rick. And it's nice of Regina to stand still and listen to that while there are Thrysnosauruses right here, stomping away. Get a bed. It is sometimes easier to use like a trank dart on a Thrysnosaurus. You kind of want to save trank darts for these guys, really. I mean, it doesn't last that long, but yeah, I mean, it does save you a fight in several med packs, honestly. Like, fighting them is actually pretty bothersome, honestly, and it's better just to maybe just trank them temporarily. Not much we can do here. Let's just turn it on before, in case they wake up. I actually don't know the exact time they stay asleep for. But as you can see, there are some boxes and a level security A door which we can't access yet. That's for later. For now, though, we have both the code and input key discs for door W, which is to the port, which is just beyond here. So let's open this door. So as you can see, there are numbers on the key, and they refer to the letters. We've done this kind of puzzle before, and if you work out which letters or which numbers mean what letter, you basically you come up with the term waterway, which is appropriate, I suppose, because this is the port, our escape route. But I suppose you might suspect by now things aren't quite that easy. We're not at the end of the game yet, and after all we have some keys we haven't used. So let's see what's going on here. This guy has a plug, I'll be taking that. And let's see what else is in this room.
Regina, it looks like this door leads to the port. It'll take a while before I can pop this open.
You copy, Mike? I found the key to the port, but I got a lizard riding on my tail. I'm heading to the main elevator right now. I'll meet it at the ground level. Hurry!
Huh. Sounds like we're not the only ones having problems.
I'm glad you're amused. But if that guy gets eaten, we're going to have to retrieve the key from that dinosaur's stomach. You've got to save him.
God, Regina has the best reactions. It's like even she's fed up with the prospect of having to do a rescue or escort mission. It's like, geez, I already tried to save Tom. What more do you want from me? Even when, oh, here's another key chip. This is important. But it's like, even when she hears that, I'm being chased by a dinosaur, quick, help! And she's basically like, well, we're not the only ones having trouble with dinosaurs, sucks to be that guy, and yeah, it's just, I don't know if it's appropriate humour or not, but goddamn. Okay, so we got to rescue some guys who are approaching on the ground floor, so we have to get to the elevator and go up. If you remember, the elevator is where we started off, basically. So let's head all the way back. Now, of course, we have some very narrow corridors. There is no Thrysnosauruses in there, and I'm not going to be able to run past them without getting hurt, so I'm just going to use my trank darts. So they have such a huge radius. Like, you can't With Raptors, you could probably run around the side and maybe like avoid damage, but these guys, they have a longer range and are generally just a bigger pain to deal with. Well, this is where we're supposed to be, so let's head on over to the elevator. If you're wondering what that weird staticky noise is, well, you'll find out in a sec.
Glad to be out of that elevator. I think I farted and tried to blame it on me. Whoever smelt that density said, so me eat him like this. I'm tired now, good night.
So, the big old clumsy dinosaur hit his head on the big power generator and knocked himself out. Silly dinosaur. He's not dead though, and unfortunately we can't do anything to kill him. Like, you can't shoot him and kill him now, because that'll just waste ammo. So, we just gotta leave him to sleep, and he's inevitably gonna come back alive again. So, we'll just leave him to take a nap, and take a look at these batteries. Unfortunately, because the dinosaur wrecked everything, the power's out. So we're going to turn the power back on. And to do that, we have to take the battery we put in initially, and we're going to take it out. And I'm going to put it back in the room where we found it. The reason we're doing this is because the place where it was in was the backup generator. Which seems a little strange, because you'd think the backup power generator would have kicked in when the power went out in the first place, when we first started. Then again, as you will see, we'll have to rearrange the colors in that same old puzzle we've seen before. It's actually the same color sequence as before, so it's red, blue, green, and white. So all we've got to do is use our white battery, shove it in there, and flip it around. The only difference is now that the buttons are actually lettered. Like before, it was just left, center, and right. Now you have to press A, B, C, and D. I guess it's because now there are 4 buttons, whereas before there were only 3, but really the puzzle is still exactly the same. In fact, it was just done in like 3 moves, that was it. That's how easy this puzzle is. And this time there's no levers, this time they're little swirly things, so we just press the button, and we'll have power. Also, I'm curious as to how, if the power went out and there was no power in the facility, how the elevator door closed. Because now we couldn't access the elevator before, because the power is out. But now the power's on, we can open the door, but the elevator door closed even though there was no power, so I guess maybe it just fell down by gravity? I don't know. Who cares, though? The important thing is, we've got power on and we can investigate the elevator. Now, unfortunately, this means we've pretty much failed our quest to rescue these people. It's not like we could have. But, yeah, these guys are all dead. Luckily, the T-Rex didn't actually eat any of them. I guess he just wasn't hungry, he just decided to murder them. But, instead, that means that we don't have to go fishing in his mouth for the key card, so that's alright. Let's investigate the other people, because each one of them has something. Another code disc. This is always helpful. And there's another guy with another item. Oh, and this control panel is now wrecked by the T-Rex. And that means that we are now no longer able to get to the F1 area. So, yep, there it's closed off now forever, I think. I think there's a time when you can go back there a bit later, but it's not really much point, so yeah, now we're trapped down here. Well, that's okay though, because the exit is here, so it's not like we ever needed to go back there unless you missed an item. I mean, I left a resuscitation up there, but it's not like I need it. I mean, so long as I don't screw up too much. How's it going? You still asleep? Yep, he's still sleeping. Alright, so now all I have to do is go back to where we came from. The port room, and report back to Rick. Now, Now you might remember that on the way here, I tranquilized one of the dinosaurs. The other one's still alive, still awake rather. Let's tranquilize him on the way back though. I can't even bother to try and dodge him. Go to bed. And the other dinosaur's still asleep, so it's all good. Oh, never mind, it just wore off. That's how I woke him up. The game doesn't really seem that consistent on how long the tranq bullets last. I don't know, I might have to experiment to see how long it lasts, because obviously you can upgrade it and that affects how long it lasts for. But nowhere in the game really tells you, so I don't know.
Think fast.
You know, normally when you say think fast, it usually means you're about to throw it really quickly. That was kind of slow, honestly.
Yes!
I like how Rick doesn't even ask, hey, what happened to the guy who had the key? As in, did you manage to save him? He doesn't even bother asking. Oh well, fuck them. They won't be needing it.
What is that?
I don't know, I wouldn't go near that if I
I
were
saw
you.
something like this in Kirk's personal lab. This could be a problem.
Yeah, I'd stay away from that if I were you. I have a bad feeling about this.
This vortex must be the side effect of the third energy experiment.
Yeah, you better leave it alone. Rick, what are you doing? Rick, whatever you do, don't do that. Rick, no, Rick, what are you doing? Rick!